What's going on YouTube? Mike here with I Heart Knives, and today we're going to be doing an unboxing of this guy. This comes from KME user on Instagram and also on YouTube, John. He sent us the Grimsmout Norseman, which I've been carrying quite a bit. Finishing up my thoughts on that, going to be doing a sharpening and then sending it back to him pretty soon. But I have it for a few more days and then I'll probably send it back. So let's go ahead and open this guy up. I think I have a pretty good idea what it is. He didn't specify what he was going to send, but we kind of talked about it a little bit. Okay, so I thought it was just going to be one of these. I didn't think it was going to be both. Alright, so first of the two, the Praetorian, and it's the titanium version. I'm not sure if they make, I think they make different variations, but either way, titanium. And I believe John picked S35VN for the blade steel. This thing is ground really thin. Put a nice edge. It's pretty sticky. I don't know if John did the edge or if this is how it comes from the factory. It's fucking huge. There's something about this knife that it feels handmade. A knife like the Paramilitary 2, it's a nice knife. It's well built, yada yada. It's a production knife, and for the money, of course, that's what it is. That's what you're going to get. But you definitely feel it. Like, every single one that you pick up is the same. The actions are all the same. Everything is the same. Unless you get like a one-off that's fucked up or something. But this Praetorian, you can tell that this is chamfered by hand. Or somebody is, you know, I'm sure it's obviously done on a machine, but I know that these are hand ground. But, you know, even when they're chamfering the edges, it looks hand done. Like the chamfering on this side, it's showing a little bit more than here, so the angle's a little bit different. So just that, you know, 2 or 3 degrees of difference, you can see it. You can pick it up, and I'll try to show the camera what I'm talking about. See if I can demonstrate it. So if you look at the chamfering there and the chamfering on that side, hopefully you guys can see what I'm talking about, and I'll try to demonstrate it in a picture to give you guys even better of a close-up. But you know, either way, see if we can do, you know, coming down like this, if you can see it. When they chamfer the edges, you know, the angle was off on one side just a little bit, but those are details that I really like, that I think are really cool, because it's, you know, it's something that you can tell is hand done. And just check out this blade thickness compared to Paramilitary 2. This is 1/8 inch 80 CRV2, and I mean, it makes this blade stock look incredibly thick. So this has to be damn close to 1/4 inch, or maybe like 3/16. Paramilitary 2 is probably just over 1/8 of an inch at its thickest point. And this is a very heavy knife, but just the way that it feels in hand, I mean, the tension on the lock bar is pretty serious. You have to really move it over, and this thing, you can't even push it in. You know, you can't even close the lock bar up anymore. There's no lock stick. Just very impressive. the spine, these little cutouts, these grooves, they're still a little sharp, but I kind of like it. The fuller that they put in here is very nicely done. I think they do like a Cerakote kind of thing in here, and then on the thumb jimping up here, if that's what you want to call it. Has a really nice feel in hand. If you have small fingers, like for a medium sized hand, you can probably use this as like a forward choil, but my fingers are kind of fat, so they end up hitting the edge. This thing is a beast, man. All right. This is the Medford Fat Daddy. And this thing is even bigger. Blade stock. Yeah, and this is the stuff I'm talking about. So, like this thumb jimping on this blade. Now, I don't know if this is done intentionally or unintentionally, but you can see that it's skewed a little bit, so they're not perfectly even. So I don't know if they do it, on a grinder with like a really small wheel, or if they have like a rotary tool of some sort, or if they do it by machine, but they're not perfect, which I like. Maybe that's just the design. Maybe that's how it's intended. I don't really know for sure. And this is also hollow ground. Medford does a really nice job with their grinds and their grind lines. This grind is a little bit more, not polished, but it feels a little finer than the Praetorian. The Praetorian has like a little bit rougher feel to it, like maybe they ended at, I don't know, 220 grit or something, and then the Fat Daddy feels like maybe 320. Like it's a little bit more glossy feeling, and you can't feel the grind line as easily. And this is the flame patterning that they did with it. So, they heat the titanium up and create this pattern. Almost has like a starry night feel to it. Really like that a lot. And this does have 50-50 choil or forward finger choil. So it's nice, you can choke up on it and really grab onto it. There's a lot of knife here. When you're holding it back here, it definitely feels blade heavy. Up here, once you choke up, it's like perfectly balanced. Go ahead and show you the thickness differences. The scales are probably close to twice the thickness. Blades are almost the same. I'd say they're just about the same length. You get a little bit more on the Fat Daddy. The Fat Daddy edge looks like it was probably stropped a few times. You can still see the grind lines a little bit, but it looks like John stropped it and touched it up. I'd say the Praetorian probably was too. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. But you can't really see the grind lines as easily with the Praetorian, so I'm not sure if he sharpened it at all. Just for size reference. That's the paramilitary too. And I also have the Ritter RSK Mark II by Hogue. So to give you guys some size comparison. These are some big ass knives. And pocket clips, monster pocket clips. These are going to be some serious carries. I'm not sure how I'm going to carry them, but they're freaking cool. Now the Fat Daddy has a really smooth action. I didn't think it would be this smooth. And you can actually sort of thumb flick it open. The weight of the blade is pretty serious. You got to move your thumb out of the way. Let me move these out of the way. So. But it's just as easy to slow roll it. But I mean, it is such a weighty blade that, you know, it just falls basically. That pattern is just beautiful though. Now the Praetorian has like a stiffer feel to it. When you go to open it, it feels like tighter. Like the lock bar and the pivot just feel much tighter. There's absolutely no blade play. This thing is fucking rock solid. The Fat Daddy almost feels like more refined than the Praetorian. The Praetorian it feels just a little bit less refined, I guess you could say. Not in a bad way though. Yeah, there's no blade play. The Fat Daddy is a more refined knife. I guess that's the best way to put it. It's just feels like there's more refinement to it. I don't really know how to explain it. It's just the way it feels. It's just less stiff. It's very, very smooth. There's no blade play with that either. Both just beautiful, beautiful knives. So we're definitely gonna put some miles on these guys. I'm gonna see what John thinks and see what I'm allowed to do with them. So far he's been amazing with letting me borrow knives and just letting me put them to the test and not caring really what I do with them. He really does use these knives, and I can tell that he has used them because the edges are obviously stropped, and there's little snail trails and stuff, so you can tell that he puts his knives to work, which is pretty awesome. So the edges aren't perfect, but they're still in amazing condition, so that tells me that he's done some cutting with them. But this steel's able to hold a pretty good edge, I would say, because I know he's had these for quite a while, and there's no chipping or anything. They're not ideal edges, but they're great for what this is. This is a workhorse knife. I can't get over how thin Medford is able to get these behind the edge for such a thick blade thickness. Other companies should take note of this. That's that hollow grind though. I mean, this has about the same amount of blade at the very edge. This has the same amount of blade edge showing, so they're probably very similar thicknesses behind the edge. And you're talking a knife that's probably 3 times as thick as the Paramilitary 2. And the Praetorian, I mean, forget about it. This thing is like ridiculously thin. This is probably the same thickness as like my Domino. This is probably like somewhere between 12 and 15 thousandths behind the edge, maybe even less, unless they put a really steep angle on it. But I don't think that's what the case is, because where it thickens up back here, you can see that at the heel where my finger is here, you can see how it thickens up at the back. But then as you creep up along the edge, it gets much thinner. Even the tip is probably, it's a little bit thicker than the Paramilitary 2, but not that much different, which is pretty impressive. So Alright guys, I'm gonna get some time with these knives. Real quick, the Fat Daddy has like a very Strider look to it with that handle. So, being that I showed you the 80 CRV2, this is a cutoff from a piece that I cut, and it's going to be a project that I'll show you guys. I didn't film the project, but I'll show you it. I'm just putting an edge on the knife now. I'm going to show it to you guys. And another thing that is going to be coming up is we're getting really close to the 500 subscriber giveaway. So, you know, as that gets closer, I'm going to do a video. We're less than 20 subscribers away, so if you guys are new to the channel, please subscribe. It'll get you guys closer to a chance to winning a really, really cool prize, in my opinion, for the giveaway. And yeah, thanks for coming along, and thanks for all your guys' support. John, thank you again so much for sending these. This is so cool, and you're just an awesome dude, and thanks to all you guys for all your support with the channel. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments. Remember to give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. If you guys have any questions regarding strops or anything like that, or you guys are interested in strops, go ahead and email me at iheartknives@yahoo.com. And that's pretty much going to do it. So have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Later.